Señores, el día de hoy estamos con Adam Janzi de VOLA que se presentan muy pronto en México el 4 de abril y en Chile el 6 de abril como parte del CL.Prog. Adam, how are you today? How are you doing?
Very, very good. I'm doing well. I'm here in cold Sweden. We still have some snow here. What about you? How are you doing?
Well, I'm here in Santiago, a little tired, just some family issues, but everything's okay. And here is really sunny and warm, so I hate this summer. But well, autumn is closer, so
Mm,
I'm only looking forward for the winter. Please.
yeah.
um, this will be your second time here in Chile. Do you remember something about that time in November 2022?
Yeah, I remember a lot about it. It was one of the more interesting trips I've done with Vola. So obviously first time in Latin America, first time in Chile. So already that was special, but we were very well taken care of there. The crowd was very, very welcoming and so warm. Um, and we also got to explore a bit. So obviously we ate some good food and saw the city a bit. But we were invited to an observatory that you have there.
Yeah,
So we got to see that and explore that world. So that was super cool.
it's beautiful. Yeah, I've been there once, and it's beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got some pictures of the moon and everything. And
Oh wow.
yeah. So yeah, I understand your point. And it's pretty beautiful to know
Yeah.
that part of Santiago. So yeah, so
Mm.
lucky.
Yeah.
Well, your last song was Paper Wolf. Last August was released this song, and it's the only new music that you have since Witness. Um, how was the writing process of Witness and obviously this last single?
So Witness, it was most of our writing process actually happens online. Since I'm in Sweden, the guys are in Denmark.
In Denmark.
It's neighboring countries, but still it's quite the trip. So most of it happens online, and Witness was this kind of compilation of different songs that tell a different story. So it feels like you're witnessing these stories when you kind of listen to it.
Mhm.
And for this album, we wanted to, or for this new album that hasn't come out yet, but Paper Wolf is part of it. We want to kind of expand on that. So Paper Wolf feels like a step, a song that has a one foot in the witness world and one foot in the
The
next
next,
kind
wow.
of world. But yeah, the writing process has been great. Writing online, then connecting in real life and finalizing stuff, and then I went to Denmark to record the drums this time with Jacob Hansen, who has
Mhm.
done Arch Enemy, Volbeat, and a bunch of other cool stuff.
Great. And yeah, you guys are mixing like a lot of styles. Even though you're like from the prog scene, you're mixing lots of different music between each album. So uh, how do you guys maybe it's like okay, we're gonna do this and this and this, or is it just like a brainstorm and you say like, okay, that's it?
Yeah, I think it's more a brainstorm vibe where we just, whatever inspires us in the moment, we go with that and expand on that. And since we all listen to so much different music, it just becomes this natural blend of all kind of different genres. But at the bottom of that, there is a conscious thought of the general direction. So, for example, with our second album, Applause of a Distant Crowd, we knew that we wanted to go a bit more, natural, softer, more rock. But then within that, we could still experiment. And then with Witness, we knew that we wanted to go in a more produced hi-fi direction. So then we knew that that's the basis, but within that, we experiment more.
Great. Um, how do you think that um, the evolution of the VOLA sound is going with the time?
That's a good question. I think it's going in a, at least at this point, in a direction which is maybe more simple, but also more heavy in some ways, and more maybe a bit darker in some ways. And I don't mean, dark like Slayer, Humanity's Last Breath,
Venom,
or
yeah.
yeah, but more in a more somber way. And I think that kind of follows the general mood of, or the zeitgeist, where the world is today emotionally. Yeah, so I think that's kind of where we're headed musically at this point. But we always make sure to have this idea of something soaring, something flying, something hopeful at the end. Hence the name VOLA, which kind of in the Latin languages deals with flying,
Fly.
with flight. Yeah.
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 Great. How do you see the prog scene right now in the world? Because well, you're playing here at a festival. How do you see that the prog scene going right now?
I would say that the prog scene is actually it's a weird kind of phenomenon, because there is obviously bands that are just prog, pure prog music, but the prog scene seems to bring in so many, bands from outside of that sphere. So you might have festivals where there's, Haken, and then there's Dark Tranquility,
Yeah.
which are like, prog and then just Gothenburg metal.
Yeah.
But people in that sphere would enjoy all of that. So I would say that the prog scene is expanding, and it's kind of embracing its essence as being something progressive.
Yeah. Is there any milestone that you want to achieve this year?
There's plenty, but I wanna choose something somewhat realistic. I think at some point doing a proper Latin American tour would be awesome, to bring in as many Latin American countries as possible, and do like a full run there of at least 2 weeks or something. Would be cool.
Yeah, and well, Latin America has lots of metal fans, so yeah, it would be great if you guys could come here, and maybe Colombia, Argentina, Ecuador, because there's lots of metal fans. I've been there, and it's amazing. And it's amazing how the metal scene it's growing there. So please, make a Latin American tour. For you, Adam, what's the best part of making music?
That's a very good question. Making music, it's something that is often taken for granted by musicians, because you're in it. It becomes, for some of us, it becomes a job, and then you're just in this wheel again. But I try to take a step back and just see that we're basically creating atmospheres, we're creating worlds, emotions with music. It's like almost like we're working with a very deep language of emotion, where you can, if you really connect with a song, you can feel emotions that you have no word for describing, and it can put you in a time and a place, maybe an old memory, or a place you want to be in the future, or just in the moment where you're just enjoying whatever is around you. To me, that's kind of magic when you really look at it that way, where it's just air that's moving, and it's creating all of that and that's kind of what it means to me, and I hope I won't take it for granted in the future. I will try not to.
Adam, if you were not a musician, what were you doing right now?
There is a few different like professions that I've wanted to go into. One might be I could have been a police officer. That was one thing that I really wanted to be when I was younger, but then I chose music instead. Another thing might have been going into science, maybe astrophysics. I would have really enjoyed diving into that because I really like that. But yeah, I've also dabbled a bit with programming, so that kind of world could also have been a potential career choice. But music took the prize.
And are you happy with the results?
Yes,
okay.
Very happy.
Well, Adam, thank you for your time. We're only 3 minutes left, so well, I want to thank you for your time. It's not that far that you guys are returning to Chile and Mexico, so if you can say something to your fans, it will be awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much for this lovely interview. It's been a pleasure, and yes, indeed, very soon we go to Chile and Mexico, and I'm very excited to return to Chile and go to Mexico for the first time. Super happy with all the love and support that we're getting from Latin America. I want to thank everyone who's supporting us and everyone who will come to the shows also. Very much looking forward to it. Yeah, it's gonna be great.